does SEO, right? And we are able to advise clients better if we understand that. So when a client comes to you and says, "Yeah, I think that we're going to hire a paid media guy to run our Google Ads, and the success of this company is completely based on Google Ads. And if Google Ads doesn't work, it means the company doesn't work." You need to open their eye. Like, marketing is beyond Google Ads. Like, Google Ads is a very tiny bit of marketing. So being able to have those conversations at scale is very important. So when you do marketing, you can be specialists within certain fields, but do not lose touch of what marketing is really about. I think the theoretical part is very important. It helps you to see broadly and helps you to understand everything that there is about marketing. So when when what you are doing begins to fail, because this is one of the fields where you can do everything right, but you can still fail, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, you can do everything right, but you can still fail. And yeah, we've had more failures than successes, to be honest.
Yeah.
We've had more failures than successes. I've done a lot of projects during my career. I've been in projects with Microsoft from in the United States. I've worked closely with Meta in Ireland. You know, we've gone there to meet with them based on some projects we worked on. But some of those things work, some of them failed. It's not even up to them. Like, they own the ad platforms, but it still failed. So you're in a role where 98% of what you do will fail. You owe it to yourself, and you owe it to everyone that you work with to understand the intricacies of that role beyond what you think your specialty is. You owe it to the marketing gods to really understand marketing, because you meet people who know paid media but don't know marketing. You need people who know SEO but don't know marketing. You need people who know content but don't know how to write content but don't know marketing. I think that you should spend time understanding what marketing is, spend time reading up about marketing, just understand the theory, understand the application. Then when you begin to work within different specialties, you begin to see how it applies.
Mm.
And I think that the best marketers are not the people, are not the most technical people. The best marketers are people who understand people. Because marketing is not about platforms, it's about people. And if you can get it right, I think you'll be very successful.
Yeah.
The greatest marketer in the world that ever lived, Steve Jobs, never went to marketing school. He just understood people.
Yeah.
Now we study his work, we see what he's done. It's amazing. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's that was a very nice quote there. Marketing is not about platforms; it's about your understanding of people. You touched on, because I know you asked for 10 minutes and we're already going to 1 hour, and that's one of the interesting things when people. You can't tell me about yourself in 10 minutes. It's just almost impossible because you've done so much, which is good. You touched on failure. Failure is something that has been consistent with us as marketing professionals.
Yeah.
We don't win always. Can you give like an example or a time where something didn't go well and how you were able to weather through it? And if you actually have like a framework, because for somebody who has experienced so much failure, obviously you've learned from that failure to enjoy so much success. Yeah, do you have a framework that you oftentimes go to rely on, or just touch on that apps that helps you navigate so when things don't go your way? Doesn't necessarily have to be in marketing campaigns. It might just be in life generally, or put your career experience.
Yeah, I think that it's impossible to do this for long and not have, yeah, maybe what you'd call a framework to guide your thoughts, because it's easy to get caught up in the process and you don't know when you are wrong, to be honest. One of the things that one needs to know about doing marketing is that you will fail, and you'll get a lot of rejections, and you get rejections from your team, from stakeholders within your organization. You may even sleep and come up with the greatest idea the world has ever 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 known or seen, and you table it, and um, and then people say no, that this doesn't fit our brand value, it doesn't align with the companies, we can't do this, it's too, no, people, yeah, you'd get rejected, you would fail, but the best way, or dealing with rejection is the best way to build character, and marketers should be people of character. It means that you should not sell things that you know that are not good enough to people, and tell them that they are good. You should not, don't compromise on your values,
mm,
uh, on to sell any product, or to publish a communication. It applies to every kind of marketer, including content writers. Do not do not put your reputation at stake just because you want something to go viral, or because you want something to work. So character is very important. And I think that, like I said, you will fail, and you will get lots of rejections. So you need a way, you need to grow into it, and then you need a way to minimize the level of rejections and failures, because if you've learned for a long time, your failure, your rate of failure should be decreasing the more you know. So
yes.
as knowledge increases, failure should, or rejection should reduce. So one of the things that you must understand, if it depends on where you sit within the organization. If you are the marketing lead, and um, you sit at the center of marketing in any organization, so you communicate with the board, you communicate with the guys in tech, you communicate with the guys in design, you're also communicating with the guys who enable sales. You are basically the life of the organization, and you are basically next to the CEO. So one of the things you want to learn is empathy. Empathy is key, because as marketing lead, everyone will come to you. Everyone knows how to do your job better than you. That's what you should know, that everyone has an idea
Yeah.
of what you should be doing, and you're not doing. And then when you sit with them to understand, you can get pissed easily. That's why are you telling me? Everyone within the organization. See, I saw an ad for a company yesterday. Why are we not doing this? Right?
Yeah.
You
Yep.
will get frustrated, but like you said, you need a framework for dealing with failures and
Mm,
rejection, and then you need to see it in three ways. You need to see it uh, within yourself. You need to find a way to deal with it within the organization, within teams. You need to find a way to deal with it, and with the results that you get, because that's what matters in the end. You need to find a way to deal with it. I see if a marketing leader uh, does not get himself together, does not get his character together, his personality together, and then does not get his team together, because his team is only a reflection of his person,
mm,
is going to fail. All the campaigns will fail. You won't get the kind of results you want to get, because you would not get the kind of ideas you want to get.
mm,
One of the things you need to do is to enable, do not, no matter how good an idea is, I think that you should have a team. If you have a team, that team should be a group of people who are brutally honest with you.
mm,
I cannot overemphasize the importance of honesty. If if you do not create an environment where people can be honest,
mm,
and just honest with you, you're going to fail a lot. You're going to fail if you're in an environment where everyone says yes to everything you say. That's a recipe for failure. You're going to fail, and you're going to fail. You're going to fail forever if you continue to do that. So you need to create. If you lead a team, you need to make sure that the team is such that people within the team, no matter how small the person is, are just brutally honest with you.
mm,
It's not a thing of ego, it's not a thing of experience, it's just people who are very honest with you. If you have a group of people who are honest, who can tell you the truth, look into your eyes and tell you, with due respect, this idea is shit. We should not fly with it. Why? And they have reasons for why they're asking you to do it. And that's the kind of people you want to keep. So if you and that is one of the things I look out for when I recruit people. I want people who I would hire a thinker, someone who thinks, uh, and who thinks at scale, rather than someone who as an understanding of how who is rigid on how things should be done.
Mm,
I- I'm quite young, so I have a mind of a startup. So I want people who are. So I want to ask you a stupid question, and then you give me a very a very honest but packed answer. For
mm,
example, if I ask you, why is the color on this design, or why are we using this lady specifically, and why is she wearing a red shirt? I want us to be have a I want us to be able to have a 30 minutes to an hour conversation just based off that. So I want people who I can't work with people who don't know why they are doing what they are doing.
mm,
That's very risky. You need to know why you are doing what you're doing. You need people who are brutally honest with you,
mm,
and you need to create an environment where people can people can talk. They can just say what is on their mind. It doesn't matter if it's a stupid idea or a good idea. It doesn't matter. Let them just say what they have on their mind. You'll be surprised that most of the marketing that wins most of the time. It doesn't come from the marketing leader. Apple had a guy who does design, um, when when Steve Jobs left, and then he came back the second time. When it was the first conversation he had when he left the board, the meeting that they had was with the head of a guy who works in design. I don't know if he was the head of design, but the guy was the one in charge of building the device, what it looks like. And Steve Jobs would say, the guy would design something, and Steve Jobs would say, we want it smaller, we want it smaller, we want it smaller. He kept putting pressure on this guy. But the guy's character, his attitude on how, because Steve Jobs did not really care about the details. He just wanted it smaller. Other people did that for him. But the guy was level-headed. He was brutally honest with him. And then he would tell him if it would work or not. But then it doesn't, he never, there was never a time where he said it was impossible to do things. So you also want to work with people who see possibility in everything.
mm,
And if you can get those three things right, people who know who have reasons for almost everything they do, people who are very honest with you, and people who 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 are driven. They want they love challenges, and from what I've seen over the years, the combination of all of these three things, it stems from creating an environment, a work environment, a good work culture, where people know that their ideas matter
mm,
in the workplace. If you do not have a team like that, if you don't have an environment like that, then it's going to be very, very difficult to do marketing right. Uh, the 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 culture of work reflects the most on marketing and sales. If you don't have a good company culture, and if the company culture fails, you're going to see the effect within marketing and sales
mm,
before you see it anywhere else. If the designers are not are working in an environment where they feel like they're going to get fired the next day from making a simple mistake, they will always try to get things right. So they will always design what you have in your mind, not what they want to do.
mm. Yeah.
it
Yes.
becomes it becomes difficult for you, even you, to see beyond yourself. And once deception creeps in, it starts from the kind of ideas that you have. It goes into implementation. It goes into every single detail about your company, including revenue. Your revenue, how much you make, how much any company makes, is a reflection of the ideas that the small people within the organization have.
Yes. Yes. True.
If the people within the organization are not being treated well, and they don't work in a place where they feel like their ideas matter,
Mm.
you start losing money marginally across the years. Yeah, you need
It
to
compounds.
yeah. You need to employ very efficient people, but also you need to make sure that you create an environment where they feel like what they say and do matters. And there are principles. There are principles, marketing. There are principles in marketing. There are principles in growth. There are principles in building businesses. But who says we can't go beyond those principles and even create our own principles? Yeah, we
Mm.
should think in line with those principles. We should avoid the mistakes that people have. It doesn't make sense to keep making the mistakes people have made in the past. So you
Yeah.
need. So when you want to do when you want to launch campaigns, you should consider that you need to see a database of what has happened in the past. You don't want to do that because you've tried it before, it has failed. But then when it comes to ideation, bringing up new ideas, you should let that you should build it. You should have an environment where you know ideas thrive,
Yeah.
basically, and that would always help you to avoid mistakes, basically. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much. That was so very helpful. One final question before we go to a slightly interactive segment. If you were going to be setting up a company or a startup, what are the characteristics that you would be looking for in a co-founder?
Actually, this I'm having a conversation about the startup. I've been trying to I've been trying to push for it. I've had some ideas lately, but yeah, what you just said is what I'm missing. I think the most important thing to me is, and I've had a couple of people who are interested who love the idea, but I don't want to build a startup with a co-founder who does not work. And
What do you
this is what I mean by that. So I work for an agency. We have a lot of clients across the
mean?
world, and it's a very very stressful job, to be honest. But the stress, I don't experience the stress because this is what I want to do. I'm passionate about what I do, so the passion kills the stress. Although I create time for myself to work on the things that I want to work on as much as I can, and other people do the same across all boards. So you see people working for an organization, but they know that they want to do entrepreneurship, but they just don't have the time to invest in it. No matter how intelligent those people are, I can't work with a co-founder that doesn't work. So if we're still going to keep our jobs and build something while we are working, you will need to create time to to do this. So for example, even if I can afford to to hire a programmer to build some of the things we want to build out, and if my co-founder is a programmer, I prefer that he builds it rather than
Yeah.
I ask. I've had people in the last this year, especially about 3 to 4 persons say that they can't work. So I'm asking myself, so why are you here? Because the idea you did not contribute the idea. The idea never came from you. The only reason why you are here is because you you're highly skilled. You're very skilled at what you do, and I want you to be able to build something with me, and I'm going to be doing the same. So to say that you do not have time, and like I said, a lot of people will not have time to do that, and I respect that. And no matter how good you are, I can't just work with you. Like I can't work with you. I Because if you are not doing the work, it becomes very difficult to understand the details. And if you are building a company where it's just 3 to 4 persons and you do not know the details, what's the guarantee that you're going to know the details when we're 40, 50, 100?
Yeah.
Need to know the details. I'm very, very like details matter,
Meticulous.
and I can't work with a co-founder who doesn't know the details about what he does and who doesn't work actively for the company. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for that question. For someone who has like a few ideas myself, I'm still trying to find that co-founder. Obviously, um, because I have a marketing background, I need somebody that can build a product,
Yeah.
and finding someone that you guys share the same work ethic and values. It's where you always find difficulty in trying to recruit or get that person to come work with you on that particular idea, and somewhat share the kind of passion that you have with the idea, not totally 100%, but by the time they are invested into it, the passion grows and they can even be much more passionate about it than even you that brought the idea into place. So the skills, the passion is unified and the skills are complementary. I take the product to the market, you create the product, and we work aggressively and be able to turn things around. Because I saw a video about on 20 VC a couple of days ago. He said the difference between especially in the early 2000s when Facebook and all of them came on board. The difference between those the products that succeeded then and the products that didn't succeed is that they had um, founders or the first set of employees that came into the company that can build stuff.
Yes.
So I don't want to find myself in a situation where the ones that failed, they were outsourcing to India. They were not. It's not that the places that they were outsourcing to wasn't good enough, but you have an idea, you have a passion. Your passion is not your priority. Their paycheck is their priority, and they are going to prioritize how much revenue that you are bringing in compared to other products that they are working with, and you will just be wasting VC's money or even your own personal funds if you did not be able to secure funding. Thank you very much, Daramola. So one more thing that I will request from you is that I won't want that to be in video. I will need you to send me the next question that I'll be asking the next guest, and hopefully you're tuned in into the next episode to see how that person answers your question and probably be able to learn a few things from that. Thank you. We just shoot past an hour. Thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to keep on chatting and conversing with you and exchanging things in the future. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you so much, Mohammed. Thank you. This is a great opportunity for me, and I've learned a lot from what you've said too. Thank you so much.
All right. Goodbye. Bye.
Bye.